Oil prices have shot up amid mounting sanctions on Russia, one of the world's largest oil exporters. International crude benchmark Brent is back above $100 a barrel. Around a tenth of the world's crude comes from Russia. The reliability of that supply is now in doubt due to the latest round of economic penalties. Those include the removal of Russian banks from the global payments messaging system known as SWIFT, as well as restrictions on the central bank in Moscow. Russia's growing economic isolation has also sent its currency, the ruble, crashing by around 30%. Now for more, let's go to Han Tan. He's the chief market analyst at the Exinity Group in Abu Dhabi. Welcome back to the program, Han. Now, what investors seem to fear now is a disruption of Russian energy supplies. How bad can that get for the global economy?
Yeah, the short answer is it could be bad. I think the question now is how bad it could get, right? So an escalation in this crisis could even delay or deal a massive blow to the global economic recovery that we've been seeing in this post-pandemic era, right? So the idea is that if these commodity prices, oil, like you mentioned earlier, natural gas, and even some industrial metals, if these keep climbing, that feeds into inflationary pressures, then consumer spending then takes a hit, which slows down the broader economy. So those fears are permeating global markets right now as we speak.
Han, are there any alternatives to Russian crude and natural gas? They are a major exporter, particularly to Europe. And if there is that supply out there, how soon can we get that in the market to provide some relief for consumers and businesses?
Yeah, so the short answer is yes, there are alternatives, but it's not like you can just flick on a switch and have those substitutes in place, right? So, for example, Europe could begin or ramp up its imports of, say, natural gas via its other ports in, say, Belgium, right down to further down south in Italy, or even do more with the UK. But keep in mind that this is against a backdrop where gas and crude oil is already scarce in supply, hence the rising prices that we have been seeing even before this escalation in the Ukraine crisis. Now, governments around the world have been releasing strategic reserves or have mooted such an option. But again, those numbers are not yet big enough to really make a big dent in the global equilibrium story. So again, I would say that there are alternatives, but it will take a while and anywhere from months to years.
Are there things happening on the demand side of things? I mean, winter is coming to an end in Europe and in the US and North Asia. So could that maybe ease demand for natural gas, and maybe we're seeing travel going down with airlines canceling their flights in this region? Could that provide some relief in oil prices?
Yeah, but then the trigger for that slowdown in demand will be worrying, right? It will be a cause for concern. So, for example, if let's say, if you look at bond markets right now, they are perhaps signaling some a recession or at least a severe slowdown in global growth, right? Then I think that could be the catalyst for lower commodity prices. But again, that just means more economic pain for other economic agents.
And can we look at the Russian economy right now? We saw an announcement about sanctions on Russia's central bank. How big of a blow is that to Moscow's economic defenses? We've heard of their $600 billion in foreign exchange reserves. Can they still tap that with these new restrictions that we've seen?
I think again, it's still early days, right? But in terms of their onshore holdings, I think it's about 20+% of it they can still get access to, but that's primarily gold and local currency denominated reserves. There is talk about potentially being able to access some that are held in China or other friendlier nations. But again, it certainly is a major roadblock for the central bank to access that $600 billion worth of foreign reserves. And that's important because the central bank is seen as a key backstop, a very crucial supporter of the financial system and also the broader economy. So if its ability to support the financial workings within the Russian economy, if that ability is hindered greatly by these sanctions, then it could be a financial crisis-led recession that we see in Russia. And that is what markets are expecting here for the first half of this year, for there to be a recession in Russia.
All right, Han Tan, Chief Market Analyst at the Exinity Group in Abu Dhabi. Thank you for joining the show.